Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here and if you watched my previous videos, welcome back. So we're back on the grey couch. We took a break, but we're back. Hopefully we'll be posting every week as we promised when we started this channel. So last week we got into our deep conversations, as we always do, and we thought we'd talk about relationships and marriages and yeah, just our marriage and everything we've been through so far.
Yeah.
This came up because I've been receiving different messages from amazing people, which has been really, really nice, especially on TikTok. And one question that stood out was, can you help me find a white guy? Now, this was a bit strange.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to talking with Mitch because obviously, you know, people have different preferences and that's absolutely fine. But I think well, for me, I'll speak for myself. People are different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to highlight that it's good to go for someone's character rather than who they, you know, are or what they look like, rather. Because I think that's very superficial.
You don't live with what someone looks like, you live with what kind of person they are. But
Exactly.
that's all I've got. That's my 2 cents on it, and that's all I'm getting
Exactly. I think if people want to have fun or whatever, no judgment here, is judgment-free zone. You do what you want, but I think looking at long-term commitment and marriage or a long-term relationship, then it's more than race, it's more than what someone looks like. So we just thought we'd talk about this topic and just talk about the main things that have helped us in our marriage, the key points, or you know, just a few glimpses of what marriage has been like.
Some people have a type, don't they?
People have a type, and it's absolutely fine for people to go for a type. But I think when you're looking at long term, you want to have kids with this person, you want to settle down with this person, you're going to be with this person for 50 years plus. You really need to like the person.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be friends. You need to have similar values, you know. You need to have a great foundation which goes beyond what someone looks like. So for me, I think it got to me a bit. I was like, why are people looking for a certain race? You know, it could be different experiences. Maybe you just want to explore, which is absolutely fine. And you just want to be open-minded, which I'm here because I was open-minded. So it's more than just race. You can't just say, oh, can you help me look for this particular person? What else are you looking for? You know, I think it's someone's character. Are they a kind person? Do they appreciate your culture? Are they open-minded? Do you have similar values? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, having a type, I've never quite understood that. Because how do you know if you have this, you know, it's not like buying a jacket or something, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like I want this jacket and I'm going to wear it, it's going to be great. Because what is on the outside doesn't always correspond to what they're in the inside or you think you want. So I think
why it also it got me thinking, because online I haven't been hearing good stories about people who are in interracial marriages.
Yeah.
Mostly black women. I think it was like Sweden. People get into really abusive relationships. And this is mostly TikTok, what I see and stuff, and people's stories. People are just opening up about, you know, what they're going through and stuff. And it made me realize that I think people are settling just because they have found this race and they think, oh, I'm going to forget everything that like my non-negotiables and my negotiables. They're literally forgetting all that because they're just looking at someone's race and they think, oh, okay, this is great, let me just settle down.
Why? I just don't get that. I'm not on social media, so I don't see this, but it just sounds so alien to me.
Yeah, it is a bit superficial, which is why I'm saying it goes beyond what someone looks like, and you can't really compromise on your on what you're looking for just because this person is white or brown or black. And that's it. I've got what I need. No, I think if you're looking for something that is long-term healthy, you still need to focus on those key elements of what a healthy relationship is. You still have to look out for those red flags. Another story that I saw, a lady moved to England and after a month they divorced. The guy was very abusive and they got engaged within 4 months, and then she moved here, whatever. So it's pretty quick.
That just sounds mad in
You
itself.
get married. I think it's this thing of forgetting someone's
Sounds crazy. The whole
character,
thing.
forgetting the red flags, and because of these questions I'm getting, can you help me find a white man? Then you get a white man, you forget all these things that you stand by, your values, and you literally just compromise on your non-negotiables, and you just go for it. And then you realize, wow, this is actually, not paradise or whatever you thought it was, because this person is just a human being. At the end of the day, it's beyond what someone looks like, or it's beyond that. But anyways, we're just going to dive into the 8 things or 8 lessons we've learned in our marriage. And do you want to go first, or do you want me to start?
Well, just tell everybody 8 reasons I'm so great, man.
Well, this man is so great, guys,
thank
because
you. We know.
Firstly,
is that it? Is that it?
I can't even think of something.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
I'm joking, guys.
speechless.
So the first thing is, I think, to make a marriage work or relationship, and something that is serious, communication. I think communication is so important.
Yep.
You're going to talk about the uncomfortable things. It is something that is talked about by almost everyone. It's one of those things where you get tired of hearing, communication is, but it's actually very, very important. Whatever you're feeling, say it. Just express it, because you don't want to have resentment, or especially when you got kids involved and you need help and stuff. You just need that communication. It's going to get uncomfortable. You're going to have these tough conversations or a tough time, but you just need to be so vulnerable, because I think before I literally struggled to express myself. I would just keep quiet. If something hurt me or I didn't like something, I would just keep quiet and just shut down. But that is a toxic way of dealing with things, because it's going to come back, and when it comes back, it will come back 10 times worse. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's something I've definitely learnt. Not every difficult communication is necessarily a negative. And I certainly had to take things as not being critical. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that is said over and over, but putting in practice is far harder.
It is hard.
Reasons.
Communication is hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think, okay, we've cracked this, we're best friends, whatever, but we grow, we evolve. How I used to communicate with him when we first met is completely different to how I communicate with you now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Obviously, you get used to each other more, you understand each other a bit more, but still, it doesn't mean that it gets any easier, because tough conversations will be had and stuff.
Well, yeah. After 8 years, I think we've had a fair share. That's natural. They're not all bad, are they? I mean, it's you are going to have conversations that you are uncomfortable. You don't slightly hurt you, shall we say, after in 8 years.
So you want to talk about the second one?
Yeah. Well, that'd be faith and values. Obviously, we're a Christian family. We raise our son in obviously a Christian household.
Yeah.
We think that you put your Christian values at the centre of your family. That sort of anchors you to everything, I think.
Yeah.
I think I really do think that, because I mean I haven't always been a Christian. It's probably a good 12 years now, so I was probably a cultural Christian before that.
Yeah. I think that was one of my non-negotiables. I guess people are different out there, but for me, I was looking for someone with the same values and religion as me. So we're both Christian, and we wanted to raise our with the same values, and just to avoid a bit of confusion. Yeah, just being on the same page. So that's one thing that has really grounded us. That's been the main foundation, and it's just easier when we're going through some trials and tribulations. We know who to turn to. We pray together, and even with our son, he can say the Lord's Prayer, power and the glory. That's his favorite.
Power and the glory.
Power and the glory.
He says it every night.
So just that is just one of our main things that has really helped our marriage. And
so I mean, the obvious thing that someone might think is, well, there's a cultural difference here, and I think when you are looking for someone, what I would say is VongaiR was alluding to, you take away your non-negotiables, red flags and so forth, is that like, I think one thing here is I genuinely, the word is appreciate. I appreciate you. I'm a cultural appreciator, I think. Yeah. I appreciate your culture. I speak a bit of your language. I'm a bit rusty now though, but I could pick it up again. I've made an effort to understand your culture, and I've been to your family's homestead. I've been to Zimbabwe 4 times now.
Yeah,
at least 4, I think. So that's been really really awesome. But not everyone would have the same understanding, and I think obviously raising a kid where we have the same religion. Culturally, he speaks English and a bit of Shona now, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he sings a lot of nursery rhymes and stuff, and he knows a fair bit about his culture. He's only 2.5, so we're doing all right, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I think under values, it's really good because and our backgrounds are completely different, but just having someone who actually appreciates where you're from, they love that culture, they want to learn more. I think that's really important because I was actually listening to a podcast. I love podcasts, right?
Yeah.
And people send in dilemmas, and it was interracial marriage, and I think one was American, one was African, and then the American went to Africa and he absolutely hated it, and the woman, the wife, overheard the guy talking to his friends. And he was just saying the worst things about where his wife is from, his family, and the traditions and culture. And basically, she sent in a dilemma to say, is this grounds for divorce, or am I overthinking it? And I was like,
it's bad. Yeah, it's really bad.
That is bad.
Really bad.
That is bad.
I've never anything but like appreciate where your family's from, and certainly the hospitality your family show me how welcoming they are.
Yeah.
And your family's homestead is just what could be better than being in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's far out, isn't it? It's cool. I really loved it.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. And then lesson number 3 is that conflict doesn't mean your relationship or marriage is failing. There's healthy ways of dealing with conflict. And it goes down to communication again. And I think you are going to butt heads. You are going to disagree. But it's about forgiving each other. If you're going to, if someone does something, obviously it's not easy to forgive. It's not easy to forget. But I think it's important to, back to the values and religion and stuff, we're Christian as you mentioned. So obviously, is it 1 Corinthians 13, I think, that talks about love is kind, love is patient. So those are literally our foundation. So because of that, it's not easy, but that you have to forgive this person. And when you forgive, you literally have to let go. So it is not the easiest thing.
No.
But when you're struggling I think in our marriage, when we're struggling, for example, for myself, if I'm struggling to forget something or forgive, we literally have a vulnerable discussion, a vulnerable conversation, don't we? Like, I'm really struggling with this because of this. It's because you don't want to build resentment. So forgiveness is always a work in progress, even though our foundation is 1 Corinthians 13 and love is kind, love is patient, everything. That is absolutely fine. But in reality, it can be hard sometimes. But it is something that you literally have to be intentional about. You have to learn to resolve conflict. Yeah. What do you think about?
And sometimes you just laugh it off.
Just laugh it off. Yeah. And it's not everything that you have to argue about. Like, yeah.
Oh, you started.
When sometimes I'm like, oh, here you go again. You need to go to the gym. Go and blow off some steam or something. Or go outside for some air, But, yeah, that's it. And keep it moving, really.
Or if I try and explain something, you go, bored. And that's so annoying. That's so annoying.
But, yeah, because I think it ties in with my lesson number 3.
Yeah.
You actually need to be friends.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you actually have to like your partner, because people out there, they actually hate each other. They're married, but they hate each other. But I think for a marriage to thrive, or relationship to thrive, long-term relationship, you actually have to like each other. You actually need to be best friends.
Yeah.
And one thing, we can be goofy. We don't take life is hard already. We don't take life serious. Because these four walls, as we always talk about, are sacred, and we just want to keep a positive energy, because we know that it will positively impact our son, and he will be happy. So we're just friends at the end of the day, best friends, talk about whatever, and keep it pushing. Next lesson.
You won't put up with someone who isn't your best friend, I guess.
I could, but not long term.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No, you'd be so fed up of the
Gratitude is glue, I think. We do sort of fall into set roles, don't we? I mean, so, and it's nice to know the other person appreciates.
I think it's just celebrating the little things.
Yeah, I think that is
just appreciating. I think one thing that really helps us is any little thing we just celebrate, and we're quite content people.
Yeah.
So whatever season we're in, we are grateful for that season. Obviously, it's not always great and stuff, but just having that positive mindset, and just always celebrating any little goal, any milestone, and creating these little traditions, and that's really important for us.
I think so. Yeah, it's cool.
Intimacy also evolves in relationships and marriage. It's not all about physical or whatever. I think there's more. There's emotional, spiritual, especially for example when you have kids and stuff. It's going to be more emotional, or when you go through different situations in life, could be going through whatever hardships at work or social life, whatever it may be. Intimacy comes in different forms, and I think it just comes with maturity as well. As you grow together, you realize it goes beyond the physical. And back to the spiritual, sometimes when I'm feeling low, and you pick us up, you become our strength in a way. And then it's the same thing when you're feeling low spiritually or whatever, emotionally. I pick us up, make sure that I have your back, and just keep it going, doing this life thing together.
Yeah, definitely.
So the last thing I would say is that it's important to protect your unity as a family. So all the outside noise, it needs to stay outside.
Don't bring work home.
Don't bring work at home. Or, if you've got toxic friends, or if you have toxic relatives, or I don't know. But just protect your peace, protect your unity, because it's sacred, it's a covenant. Marriage is a covenant, so you need to protect it. If it's social media, how are you handling social media? Are you respecting your partner or whatever? Mitch is not on social media, but at the same time, I'm always wary of, how I feel if I did this or whatever. But it's just protecting.
Really? Do you really?
No, but it's more like I just protect us.
Okay,
respecting our unity, isn't it? So protecting our unity. So
I really don't care what you do on social media, really, but okay.
But anyways, so just protecting your unity, whether it's social media, outside noise, your job, stress, toxic people, whatever it is, because this is a covenant. Marriage is a covenant. So it's... Did you just yawn?
No, I said work stress. Go on, say it.
Okay, stop.
You
I'm poking it.
You won't do shit, man.
So those are the things that have led us to this point. 8 years later.
Yeah, I mean, don't let anyone interfere. No one interferes with us. We're very, very fortunate about it, because
outside noise now.
Relatives or no friends, no one interferes, nothing like that. So we're good like that. But you have to be very careful and say that, like one guy says, it's these four walls are sacred.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks very much.
See you next time.
Thanks.
Bye.